Have you ever felt like everybody else knows the secret except for you? And then you're the last one to find out? Well, that's kind of how I felt today when I heard about Perplexity AI. It's another large language learning model, much like ChatGPT. It's a little bit different than that, but we'll get into it. But I discovered it today, or heard about it today, and it seems like now that I know, everybody else already knew. And so I'm the last one to the party, the last one in the know. But we're going to take a look at it just in case you haven't heard. And hi, I'm Dave. This is Old Ed Studio. Today is February 17th. This is vlog number 48. And today we're looking at Perplexity. Now there's several different ways to access Perplexity. If you go to perplexity.com or perplexity.ai, either one of those will redirect you to the website that has the Perplexity tool. If I didn't cut it out, it just took me like 10 times to say that line. I got stuck on the word perplexity, and so I finally got it out. So I don't think I'll keep that in there, but just so you know what's happening behind the scenes while I'm laughing at myself. If you don't want to access it through the browser, you can download the app. There's an app available for Android as well as iOS. There is also an app available for Mac OS. So I played around with it for a while on the web, and I used the browser Firefox. So I was using Firefox on the web, accessing. Here we go. It's going to be a long vlog. Oh no. Accessing Perplexity.ai through the web browser. I played around with it there for a while until I felt comfortable with it, and it was something that I figured that I would use more than just this once. And so once I had that, then I downloaded the app to my Mac, and I've been using the Mac local application version ever since. I have not downloaded it on my phone. I might at some point. We'll have to see if it's something that I think I'm going to use a lot more and use on my mobile device, and then I would. But first I want to use it and play around with it and see if it's something that I would use more than what I use ChatGPT for. Now there are some differences between ChatGPT and Perplexity AI. Maybe I should just call it Bob. There's some differences between ChatGPT and Bob. It's easier to say. Right off the bat, when you look at the marketing materials, they kind of market it as an advanced search engine, not so much just a large language learning model like ChatGPT. And doing some research between the two, it seems like ChatGPT, at least what Perplexity thinks ChatGPT is more for creative and writing and things like that, where Perplexity is marketing itself as something that's more of a search engine or a research tool. So that's how they differ a little bit. Now, Perplexity also does have a voice mode like ChatGPT. It is not an advanced voice mode, and it doesn't quite have the personality that ChatGPT does. I did use it. For the free version, you get 5 queries on the voice mode, and then that's it for a 24-hour period. You have to wait for 24 hours for it to reset, and then you get 5 more, and so on and so forth. For just the text tool, there's 2 different versions of the text tool that you can use. One is just the general text prompt that you can enter in, and I think that's unlimited. And then you get 5 pro searches a day as well. And then the pro searches are the ones that are the more research-heavy oriented questions. If you're looking for something that you're going to use in a school paper or in a professional paper, then you might want to use one of those advanced ones. But their subscription model is not like ChatGPT. Their highest tier, or that's either free or pay, and their pay tier is only $20 a month. So their highest tier for pay is the same as ChatGPT's Pro version, so they don't have the same structure having a $200 version like ChatGPT. Now, some things that I like about Perplexity right out of the gate, it's set up basically the same way as ChatGPT. I think most of the AIs kind of all have followed the same format, so I don't know who came up with it first, but they all follow the same kind of general layout where you have your text bar in the middle. On the left-hand side, you've got your history, or either your search history or your conversation history, whatever you want to call it, on the left-hand side. You can go back and refer to those previous historical chats if you want, or you can just start a new one. And Perplexity is exactly the same in that fashion as ChatGPT is. So all of your previous conversations are on the left-hand side. You can go back and access them and pick up a conversation where you left off. Now, for the voice mode, there's a keyboard shortcut that you can use on your Mac if you're using a Mac. Otherwise, you can use the prompt within the application itself, and a separate window pops open for the voice mode. Now, one of the things that it does different than ChatGPT, which actually I kind of enjoy, is as you're having the conversation, it is transcribing out the text and putting any links or videos or anything that it's referencing right in the stream of conversation that you're having with it. So it's doing both voice and text prompt at the same time. Where with ChatGPT, you can have that voice conversation, and behind the scenes, it is transcribing that, and when you end your voice conversation with ChatGPT, that's when the transcript becomes available to you. It's not available to you in live talking mode like Perplexity. I actually prefer the way Perplexity does it over what ChatGPT does. However, there's a couple limitations that I don't like that I think would be enhancements in the future. Right now, as an example, you can't resize that window. You're stuck at the resolution and the size that that window opens up at. So as it's typing out, the text fills up the window very fast and then is scrolling off. And so that's a little annoyance. Nothing too major there. And I think at some point in time they'll make that resizable. Right now it is not. All right, I'm going to break into my editing session here. This is me actually editing this exact video because I had a technical issue. I was screen recording everything that I did with Perplexity so I could use that screen recording as part of the video for this vlog, and I was going to splice it in and have different screenshots and different video displaying what I was doing in Perplexity. Unfortunately, that didn't work, and so I don't have any of those images. So I'm afraid you're just going to have to listen to me blah, 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 the whole time without any visuals of Perplexity to go along with it. One of the other things that I really like about Perplexity, and again, I've only started using it today, so we'll see if I find more things that I like and I don't like as I use it more, but one of the things that I really like about it in using it today is that as it answers your questions, I've asked it a couple times now to give me a bullet point list comparing different tools or comparing different medications or different things like that, just to give it a trial run to see what it does. At the end of each line of text that it provides you, so it's making a bullet point and that bullet point ends, it puts a number there at the very end that is the citation to the website or the documentation or whatever it was that it got its information from to answer your question. So you can always click on the number and the website, or it will take you to that documentation that it's referencing to answer that question. And so it has citations right in with the text that it's providing you. So that's very useful. I really like that feature. ChatGPT does not do that. Now, there was not a way that I found to turn on the train of thought or the train of decision making that it is using to answer your question like DeepSeek. So when you type into DeepSeek will show you all of the steps it's going through to answer your question, so you actually can read that train of thought that it's having to get to the answer to provide for you. ChatGPT does not do that. Neither does Perplexity. Both of those, if you wanted to understand how it arrived at the answer it did, you could ask it a follow-up question and say, please explain to me how you got to that answer, and it would provide more information. But that actual train of thought or train of decision that it's using is not visible. That is a feature of DeepSeek that I like, but it's not something that I would go back and use DeepSeek just for that one feature. There's too many other issues that I have found with DeepSeek to go back and use it versus not, and just to have that one feature. Now, the one big complaint that I have had of all of the AI tools that I have used so far is their accuracy. And so when I'm using Perplexity today and I'm asking it questions about how is your accuracy in the answers that you're providing versus DeepSeek or ChatGPT or Grok or any of the other AI tools, you name it, and I went through a list of them today just to see what it was. Many of the tools that I asked it about, Grog as an example, it's not providing any data on how accurate it is. Now there's some famous people quoting that it's the most accurate, but there's no actual data to back that up. And so that's when you're looking for the accuracy of something, that's part of what I want to look for. Is I want the data. Show me how you're backing that claim up, or what the actual percentage is. Interestingly enough, depending on what I was asking it about for ChatGPT, it provided information on ChatGPT's accuracy being anywhere from 65 to about 85%, in that window somewhere, depending on which citation it was making or which source it was using and what question I was asking it. Of its own, it was rating its own accuracy somewhere from 80 to 95%. And so it has itself rated higher and more accurate than ChatGPT, as well as that's the highest percentage that I could find of accuracy of any of the AI models out there. So if it is correct, if that really is a true percentage based on data, then Perplexity right now probably has the highest accuracy of any of the AIs. That alone for me is one reason anyway, that I would use it more than some of the other ones. Now, one of the other areas that I think ChatGPT or OpenAI has over all of the other AI tools, one of their strengths, is the memory. So if you've seen the previous video where I talked about OpenAI's memory, and I'll post a link up here to it if you haven't, if you're interested in that, the way the OpenAI memory works is it stores a local file, and it gathers information on you as you have conversations with it. So its memory of you as an individual evolves over time and gets better and grows. My ChatGPT named itself Quinn, so in that memory file there is a reference to that conversation, and it knows that its name is Quinn. But it also knows my name is Dave. It knows my son's name. It knows things like, I would like to learn Portuguese. European Portuguese, as a matter of fact, not Brazilian Portuguese. There's a difference. So there's things like that that it has picked up about me over time and has placed in that memory file. And so when I'm having a conversation, especially a voice conversation with ChatGPT, it uses that collective memory and weaves those things into the conversation. I've actually started a conversation with ChatGPT before, and the response it gave me was in European Portuguese, and I went, oh, why are you speaking to me in Portuguese? And it answered, because you want to learn Portuguese, and I'm trying to help you with your goal of learning Portuguese. So it does little nuanced things like that in its conversations with you because of that memory file. Now, Perplexity doesn't have that same type of memory, but it does have some memory. So on the left-hand side, and I can show a screenshot of this right here, the chats that I've had with it, they're being saved in that left-hand column sidebar, and I can go back and reference them. I can pick up a conversation where we left off. So the memory is finite to that conversation, and it's local to that conversation, but I can go back and reference it and pick it back up later, and it will remember what was in that particular conversation. Now, overall, I'm really impressed with Perplexity, and I'm glad that I finally made it to the party and I'm aware of this tool. All right, now I think that's going to wrap it up for this vlog for today. Just scratch just the top surface there of Perplexity. I'm sure we'll get into it more. I'm really enjoying it now that I have found this tool, and I think I will use it at least as much as OpenAI ChatGPT, although I do like the voice interaction that ChatGPT has. So I'll probably use that one for that, and this one for more search engine type stuff because of the citations. I'm enjoying it, and I am impressed by the tool. And since there is a free version of it, I would encourage you to go give it a try as well. All right, we've made it another day. We've wrapped up another vlog, and I will see you tomorrow.